friends, today I'm going to show you how to start up your own tapestry for our little friend Cooky from BT21 line friends, and I'm actually going to tweak my pattern just a little bit. I'm going to add four columns, and because I have my other episodes which are 33 by 37, so I'm going to tweak my pattern accordingly. Of course, needless to say that you can also make this pattern your own. I am going to switch my background color. As you can see, if you can see it, my background is white for this pattern, and I'm going to switch it up and do it yellow. Also, my pattern calls for the outline of Cooky being a darker pink. I am going to outline him black just to be cohesive and match up all of my other characters that I've done before. They have a black outline, and I think it's gonna look a little bit cleaner. But for the rest of the colors, I am going to keep them the same. Then like I said before, I tweaked my pattern a little bit, so I chained 33. This original pattern has 29 squares, which corresponds to the number of chains that you're going to make. So I have my 33 chains, and we're going to be using the only acceptable stitch out there for a tapestry. Especially if you want a cleaner, better looking tapestry, I do recommend that you follow the Tunisian simple stitch, which I'm going to show you right now. So once you have your stitches or your chains, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work onto the back bumps of our chains. This stitch always is gonna count as one. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but I'm using a Tunisian hook. You can get away with using a simple or a regular crochet hook. I do recommend that you probably attach a little yarn to the end side of your crochet hook so that you do not mess your stitches up. The reason when is because the Tunisian simple stitch requires for you to have all of your stitches at the same time in your hook. A little like knitting, but just a little bit different. So like I said before, we're going to skip that very first bump and gonna go straight to the second bump. We insert our hook, we yarned over, and we are supposed to keep our stitches in our hook. Again, we're gonna insert our hook, yarn over, and keep our stitches within our hook. We're gonna do this all the way down our row, and I'll meet you back when we are going to start our return pass, because also Tunisian simple stitch we work onto one row twice, so we move forwards and we also go backwards. So now with all of our stitches in our hook, we're going to chain one onto that very last stitch that we have here. I'm gonna grab our yarn and pull through, and that's going to be our chain. And then the rest of our row is going to be, we're gonna yarn over and pull through 2 of our stitches, and again 2, and again 2, and we're gonna be pulling through pairs all the way down our row. And this is how it should be looking. We're gonna do our very next row. However, if you look at the pattern, you'll see that our very next row is a solid color, so we're just not going to worry about introducing colors right now. We're just going to I'm going to show you how to do our repeat for the rest of our project. The always counting this stitch as one. We're going to insert our hook onto that front post only, so these loops right here of our previous row, and we're going to pull and we're going to keep them in our hook like so, only onto that front loop only of our previous row, yarning over and pulling. Make sure you actually pull and you have a significant tension, because if you actually have a tighter of a tension, your project will tend to curl up, and you can always use a clothespin to like pin it down, but you know, just to be safe and kind of get yourself used to, like, it will curl, like as you can see it'll start to curl, just to keep that in mind. Your second row should be looking just like this, and we're going to chain one, always chaining one on every row onto that last stitch, and we're gonna do exactly what we just did. We're gonna pull through pairs or through 2 stitches all the way down our row. So I'll meet you back when we're doing our third row, and I'll show you the exciting thing to Tunisian simple stitch, which is color changing, you know, color introduction and all that stuff. And our project should be looking like this. I just put a clothespin for my bottom because it's starting to curl. And just a reminder that I did tweak this pattern, so I'm going to count my third row, but I'm going to add 2 more stitches to that because I actually added 4 columns to my pattern, and I'm planning to add 2 columns here and 2 columns on the end to make it a little bit symmetrical. So just keeping that in mind, I'm going to do 12 for the original pattern plus 2 for my personal pattern. So again, we're just going to introduce our we're just going to insert our hook onto that very front loop of our previous row, always counting this stitch as 1, and we're just going to do the number of squares that our pattern calls for. And then we're going to do our very first color introduction. So as you can see, we have those 2 pink colors right here, or those 2 pink squares, well, a total of 4 squares, and we're going to introduce our black, well, I'm going to introduce my black outline. You can always choose to follow the pattern as it is, or the colors as they are, and we're just going to insert our hook onto that stitch like if you were doing it with our background color. As you can see, there's actually 1 little square that calls for this background pattern, so we're just going to grab our background color and insert it. That is just what we're doing. As you can see, there's a loop right here, easy enough, and we're going to do 2 more squares of our black outline. The rest, of course, I'm going to do in my background color. And just to make it a little bit even more clearer, I just added 2 solid color columns. The actual pattern itself, like this, is going to stay the same. I'm not going to tweak or move any squares around, just an FYI. And now we're just going to chain 1 onto our last stitch and pull through 2 all the way down until we reach the black stitches right around here. So whenever you have 2 different color stitches in your hook, just like so, we have a blue and we have a black, we're going to use our second color stitch of our hook to pull through the 2 of our stitches. So I'm just going to drop my blue, pick up my black, and we're going to yarn over, pull through my blue, and through my very first black stitch, and then we pull through 2. Again, the rule applies actually, but since it's same color stitches, we use the same color stitch, right? We pull through that black and that other black. Again, rule, 2 different color stitches, we use the second one. We drop our black, pick up our blue, and we pull through that black and through that blue. Easy peasy, right? Again, we pull through 2, switch colors again, and we're good to go. This is actually all you need to know for your tapestry and for the Tunisian slip stitch. I think it's absolutely easy, and look, the actual stitch is very much crystal clear, it's very crisp. The edges are very straight and they're not warping like the regular crochet does. And as you noticed, we always work onto the right side or the front side of your project. In no point in our project will we turn our work or work onto the back. Actually, we just have a very beautiful purl stitch on the back. So this is just really knitting, but not really. And this is why I love this stitch. So I hope you're not super mad at me because this is not a full tutorial. I'm just going to leave it as is for this tutorial. I am going to leave a time lapse of how I make this tapestry, but I will not be, talking to you guys, because this is exactly all the tools that you need. Of course, down below in the description, I'm going to leave the Pinterest bit that I'm following, or if you would like, you can always take a screenshot of the picture on screen. Mind you, I am putting the actual original pattern, not the tweaked one, and you can do with the original pattern whatever you like, add, delete, change. It is yours to do whatever you want with it. And happy crocheting!